You're tuned into Rolling on the Road Special Edition with Dr. Kimberly Barrington. Take it away. Action.
Good evening. You are tuned into Rolling on the Road Special Edition. This is actually segment 2. The first segment I did with Jorge, and I was at Maranatha Seventh-day Adventist Church. It was amazing. As I stated, I was there to get the Master Guide honors. Well,
10 pin trades, they're finished. But
action.
Good evening. You are tuned into Rolling on the Road Special Edition. This is actually segment 2. The first segment I did with Jorge, and I was at Maranatha Seventh-day Adventist Church. It was amazing. As I stated, I was there to get the Master Guide honors. Well, the most senior Master Guide, Robert Johnson, after he saw the interview with Jorge and his book, he says, guess what? I got something that's even better than that. And I said, something better than that book? And I want to say maybe 20 or 30 years worth of history. He says, oh, absolutely, I do. And he goes, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, well, I guess I'm interviewing you. So we're here in my home because he was here in the city, and we set everything up. And as you can see, I mean, we just, all my dining room furniture and the table has been taken over. But each piece has a story, and I'm just excited. I don't want to belabor. I want him to be able to tell you his story and every piece. I mean, just look at this as we come over here. This shirt that he actually wears. Can you believe that? I can't imagine having something that heavy on me, and all the pins that are there. And then the bags, these sets of pins. And this has its own story in and of itself. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear about all of these pins as Master Guide Robert Johnson is going to come, and you guys stay tuned. As promised, here he is. We have Master Guide Robert Johnson. Hey, sir.
how are you? As said, I'm Robert Johnson, Master Guide with Lake Region Conference and Allegheny East Conference. I've been active in those two conferences since I was very young, going on 31 years as a Master Guide.
Sir, you only look about 35. How you going?
Right. And even more years. There's a program called Team Leadership Training, but before that it was called CIT, Counselor in Training.
Mm-hmm.
And I started that at 12 and a half. So if you do the years, you'll come up with about 43 years of
Oh my goodness.
leadership training in the Pathfinders. And then of course I was Busy Bee, Sunbeam, Helping Hand, and Busy Bee. And that started at the lower ages.
So how old are you to be a busy bee?
Now you can be as early as 3 years old, but when I started, it was 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 5, because it was only 4 classes. They added 2 more, which I actually went back and did with my children. Eager Beaver and Little Lamb.
Little Lamb is how old?
Little Lamb, I think it's 2 to 4, and Eager Beaver is 4, and then you go into your traditional adventure classes, which is Busy Bee, Helping Hand, Sunbeam, and Builder. And so I've been in all of those traditional classes, and a lot of people will see me even wear those on my Master Guide uniform because I actually went through the classes. And then I did the additional classes with the state conference of Florida. They have a advanced pin and ribbon for orienteering and navigator, which will make you a 8-star Master Guide instead of just a 6.
So you are 8-star
Yes.
Master Guide.
Yes.
Explain what that means to us folks who were like.
So if you know anything about Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts.
Really?
Yes. If you know about them, then you know that they have something called an Eagle Scout. And then you have the person who trains the Eagle Scout. then there's a person who trains that person. The master guide is the person who trains the people, who train the people to be the people. And
So we the people is really important. So bottom line, everybody put your hands together because we have a potentate in the house.
and it's really because from grassroots level, I was incorporated in because my dad was for 50 years one of the leaders in our conference. He served as the Pathfinder coordinator, the specialist. He even served as the youth director when we had a youth director leave. And so he served in all capacities. And so because of that, I had access to all of the trainings that he would go to because I was always by his side. I was there and I took the classes. And then as I became a older teenager and young adult, guess what? I didn't have a choice. So when everybody else was quitting and doing whatever they did, I was still hanging out with Pathfinders, adventurers, master guides, etc.
See, that's like being an 8-star general. Well, it's only a 3-star general, but
But the essence of it is that I can say that having been sheltered under the system, it was a system that saved me spiritually. And this is why I'm sharing it. Not just because Jorge shared his book, because actually I'm inspired by his book because I don't know if you saw his book, it has the actual scarf and thing on the cover.
Yes.
A total nice uniform, and I've got to do a book like that, Jorge. I love that video with you, and it actually inspired me to share. Not because it's better, but because it's a breadth of information that we can share to help our kids have access to other systems that will have them have a closer walk with Christ.
Amen. Now, out of all of this, as we look at this again, there's just so much here. Just unbelievable. How many years is this?
This is since 1983. The first wasn't my first beta, but my first patch is in here somewhere from the Black Adventist Youth Directors Association, which we had in Atlanta, Georgia. And from there, I've been going to every what we call the International Camporee, which is 84, which was called Camp Hill, Colorado. Very cold. But what I remember about it is that there's a person, his name was Jesse Jackson. You might know him. He was one of the main speakers there, and the Cosby Kids were there. And we also got a chance to wrestle a bear, but the backstory to Jesse Jackson was the president of my conference, Charlie Joe, introduced me to Donald Trump, Jesse Jackson, and a mayor at the time, I believe, or running for mayor at the time. His name was Mayor Washington. And so it's so funny because all three of those men thought that Mayor Washington was going to be the next president because that was the conversation that they're having. But the International Camporee came up and Jesse Jackson was invited during that conversation. And so I got to see the behind scenes of even him actually going to why he had a chance to go to the event. So I was excited about that to just kind of put it in his perspective.
So that's one major memory. There's another one that you shared with me before we started the interview. It has something to do with blue and a cross.
Oh, yes. And that's actually why I'm holding my... So...
Your
Ripley's
iPad.
Believe It or Not. Ripley's Believe It or Not is they're a thing here in America. And what happens is with Ripley's, you do a certain particular thing. You have to have the most of something. And so
does Ripley's Believe It or Not, are they still in existence or did they change to something else?
They may have changed to something else, but what I remember is that we had the world's largest human cross, and that's what you'll see in blue. This is my actual number. And you'll see there is this scanner ID pad on the back. And what was so great about that is that when you see the picture, let me just dial in here. When you see the picture, you'll see a cross.
Yes.
And
looks
so
like a blue cross.
everybody had that. You see me here with one of my buddies from the Southern Union. We're dressed in our garb that we had to have on during the actual cross. So everybody was in a light blue kind of.
So did they provide them, or you had to purchase them?
They provided them.
Really?
And they gave us this particular thing. And so the drone kind of flew over us, and I think the drone was able to count these actual tickets that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And in them counting, we made the record. And so now what you'll see is me actually wear this on my uniform. And so some people trade this because they were there and they don't like to wear it on their uniform, but I do because I was an active part. And if you understand active part in the Pathfinders, it means that you can wear the things that you were active part in. And so this is another one where we had the largest scarf. I don't have a picture of it on me at the time, but I was a part of actually doing security for it as the crane raised it in place. And so I also wear that one on my uniform.
How many people were in the human cross?
And actually, it's on here. It's actually on here. 13,309 people. And there were actually more people, but once they got to the limit that they knew that they would beat the record, then they stopped the people from coming in line. And so that's kind of the thought behind it.
So let's talk about some of these pins. What are some of your favorites?
Well, if anybody who knows me knows that this particular pen, the best pen that I think was ever made is a 3D 5G pen. We call it, it has 5 points, but if you can see it, it's active. So you can actually pull
Oh my goodness,
out.
it's got a sword.
This actually moves off, and then you can still take all 3 of the parts off and wear them as an individual pen, but they all go back together as one on the Pathfinder logo with a king's hat, a sword, and a shield. And so you've got 4 pieces that actually work by themselves, and then they work together as a pen, which I call it a 5G. I know that 5G is a telephone sign, but or we can call it 5D, I guess, 5-dimensional. And so that's one of the best. The next one is the first one from the Lake Region Conference, which is the conference that I'm from. And it has the master pen that Roy Laws and I created. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And it's a puzzle, and this master pen tells you how to put the puzzle together. And then my very, very next one, these are not in order. This is the pen that was made for my Pathfinder Club. I was a Pathfinder director under Whitley Phipps at Capitol Hill. And we made a pen called, a t-shirt actually first, called the Blazers. Then we made a pen of it. And then in 2024, guess what I found? The updated version of this. Of course, I was gone by then, but it means a lot. And it was the Blazers of Washington, D.C.
Is that moving?
It does move. If I take it off, you'll see that this spins. Spinners are high quality for children. And then this particular one, this is from Russia. It's the red Russian one that has Stalin on it. And I actually got it from an Adventist who came from Russia to the first international camporee. And so you'll see that it's actually more like a button base, which the first pens were buttons. So in 1985, I'm sorry, it was 85, you'll see that the first button in 85 was first pens were buttons. So when I went to the 85 one, we had this slogan in Michigan that says, "Say yes to Michigan." And so we had a "Say yes to Michigan" button, and we traded that buttons. Now, what's good about the buttons is that they costed, we made them. We actually used a stamping machine, and we went to this place, I think his name was Mr. Waller, my teacher. And we made "Say Yes to Michigan" buttons to go to the international camporee. But the bad thing about them is that the pins, they have a point of contact, and they get rusted very quickly, and so they didn't last a very long time. And so that's why you'll see a very few. But you'll see this one is the same button style. And so that's why it stood out to me, because everybody else was trading for this, and they were trading with this. So this versus this is a big setup. Now, throughout the years, there are other ones that I like for certain reasons, and it just depends on why. The ones that mean the most have the smallest. Like this one is from the Cayman Islands. It's a turtle in 2014, and this was sought after because it had a turtle. But then the turtle went from being this turtle to this turtle right here.
Oh my goodness.
And so you can see how this turtle with the little dangly is way different from this. They still have the same tradability in each of the camperees, but you know, this is when the pins were very small and then they scaled. And so since they've scaled, I mean, we've got a pin somewhere that's this big. I guess I traded for it, and that's kind of what happened. But I'm always excited about the opportunity to trade. Anybody who knows me knows that I've kind of upped my game in trading. So what you'll see, for instance, is this is the Fearless patch, the Fearless pin, and guess what it matches to? The Fearless shirt.
Oh, wow.
And so you'll see that you have kind of evolutions of that. You'll see, if you go to my Facebook, you'll see my very first, in 2014, I believe it was, or 19, the guy took the shirt off his back. He had a t-shirt on, of course, to trade me the pin and the t-shirt because I wanted it for something that he wanted. And so this is an important stop in the video, and that's teaching the difference between worth and value. Teaching people that your worth is something that you set and value is something that usually other people give. And teaching a child that is one of the best things that Pathfinders learn, because if you say, I only have this, guess what you did? You devalued it. But if you say, I have this and I want to trade for those three things, you're saying that the value is significance. And speaking of this butterfly, I understand that you like butterflies.
I do.
And so we're going to take the time to actually give you your first pin. And here we go. Here's the other piece of it. I have a special thought on what I want you to do and what I have for you to trade because you like butterflies. Now, we're not going to give you the set, but we're going to give you the opportunity. So I'm trading with her. If you see at the bottom, there are butterflies at the bottom of this set. So I'm going to save this set, and this is just an extra. You see it's the same as the yellow here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to save this set for you, and so you're going to, as you matriculate through your master guiding process, I'm going to save this set for you so that when you get three other pieces, you can trade that one and the three others back, or another set of 4, and I've got your trade waiting for you. All right?
Oh my goodness. But okay, so you would actually trade your first pin?
So no, I wouldn't trade my first pin.
Well, this is my first pin.
Oh, well, if that's your first pin, then you can trade something else for other things.
Okay.
So yes. So no, I didn't realize, I guess that is your first pin.
That is my first pin.
So just like these are my first pins on the collar here. They're usually indicative of the other 8 or 9 international camperees that I've been through. I've been to them all. And so my thought is that yes, you probably should save it. And then some of the things that you'll see is that I started to begin to trade patches that have the pin that connects to them.
Oh, those are nice.
Some of these are international. So if you see the word conquistador, it's the replacement word in Spanish for Pathfinders. So you'll see some of the other ones that I've collected. And there's one here that actually the Brazilian soccer team took from me with a shirt because it matched their year that they won the World Cup. And so we actually had some people from the team who was either a coach or a sports medicine person. He took it back to his country to utilize it in their museum and show how Pathfinders mirrored the World Cup. And now the other thing that I do is you'll see that I'll come. You see these are initial. So this is initial one. So if you go in the back, you'll see that with love, this is initial from the person from the Michigan conference that made it. And I have other sets here that I've started to have individuals sign it. And that's become a fun too, because then I heard that you're looking for a person who can sign the pens. I was a part of this team that made this pen. I can sign it. And so I'll give the person an extra pen or an extra set or something, and they'll trade me 2 or 3 of their sets that are signed. And so that makes it worth and the value worth more. And so I've had the ability to go to about 53 countries teaching, preaching with youth ministries, specifically club ministries, that being adventurers, pathfinders, and master guides. I just got back from behind communist walls in Cuba. And I collect other things. Like this is a scarf set. And this scarf, you can see it's a scarf. But it's a whole set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins that actually matches the logo to the scarf. So I can just wear this, and in place of some of all of this, and the people at that particular country will know that I've been a part of their process, or just me. Like for instance, when I went to Westchester in Britain, I was able to get the British Union. The British Union is the scarf with the logo, with the pen. And then the same thing with the Welsh flag. I did not go to the Welsh area, but having the ability to trade with the patch with the scarf. I've been to Mexico many times. Actually, in certain places like Monterey, Ensenada, Tijuana, I've taught their master guides, so you'll see me wear this occasionally, specifically when I'm working with the Spanish contingency, because it lets them know that I've worked with them. The same with Pathfinders. And so this is just a little piece of what we do, and do I enjoy it? Usually now when I go to the international camporees, I'll go with the early setup team and set up. This year we set up a kitchen that was bigger than the university's kitchen. Under a tent though. And as a builder, they call me Rob the Builder, we did that. So I was there for almost a week just setting up before the rest of the Pathfinders got there. And then I helped shut down so that during the international camporee, guess what I was doing?
Trading pins.
I was trading pins. Listen. Don't ask me to take nobody to the showers. Don't ask me to accompany them to blah, blah, blah. I already did that for 20 or 30 years. What I enjoy doing is trading pins. So I have a stationary mobile table where the legs come off and it goes flat and I can carry like a suitcase. And I just go and set up the table and I'll put all... Now, I don't pull all of this out because the table is probably about from here to there. It's probably like a 4x4 or a 3x3 table. Mm-hmm. But once I stay in the same place, one of the secrets I want to tell you, if you're trading pins at the International Camporee, go to the International Campsite. That's where people from Jamaica, from Bermuda, from Great Britain, from wherever they are from outside the United States, they stay in that area. So usually I'll go to that area first and just set up my table and trade with the Pathfinder leaders, directors, and conference officials and union officials. And then I come out and trade down with my particular things. And that way we're able to have a higher ability. So for instance, let me just give you one example, and then if you have any questions, I'll be gracious to answer them. So you'll see that a particular set that may include foreign pins. Like for instance, I'm just pulling out an arbitrary Guatemalan pin. High quality. I probably can trade this particular Guatemalan pin for an entire set, because...
So just the one pin?
Just the one pin. Now, in pin trading, they'll tell you not to do that because it's not fair. But why I encourage it is because if you're from Guatemala and you might have brought 300 Pathfinders, and they all might have had 10 10 pins like this. Well, if they all had 10 pins, after they do 10 pin trades, they're finished. But, you know, there's other Pathfinders like the Michigan Conference, they might have 10 in their entire set, and they might have 5 sets of that 10. So for me, I would say they will go after a set of 4. If they had 10, they should come away with at least 40. Now, why is that important? Because you only have access to about 300 of these, whereas the Michigan Conference, you might have access to about 500 of those. 5,000 of those. So 300 versus 500, the supply and demand is different. And so that's why you would trade up for this. And so that's what we've done. And I'm excited about that process. Here's one. I like how it's kind of made. It's like the Mexico pin, so you'll see kind of like the Mexican setup. It's got the dangly. I try to trade my danglies first because if you keep them long term, they tear up the fastest because there are a lot of moving parts. But I'm not saying that it's an inexpensive pin. It's not. And then when I went to Brazil for their international camboree, this is what they actually gave to their Pathfinders to go on their uniforms. So I was given this to go on my uniform, but I traded for 5 of them. So I at least keep one so that when I'm in Brazil, you'll see me wear this with my Brazilian scarf. Well, shout out to one of the gentlemen. He's the executive coordinator of Pathfinders in the South Central. Jason McCracken is his name. He's actually a brother. But he's the person who's in charge of the world's largest camporee with over.
Oh shoot! Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, we're back. We're back. Oh, wait a minute. All
right.
Okay.
And Jason McCracken was responsible for the world's largest Pathfinder camporee, which is 110,000 people. Whereas here in America, our international camporee started around 20, it's fizzled up to about 85,000 with about 5,000 daily visitors, so maybe about 90,000 people. So much so that we had to kind of shut it down early. And next year, the next one, I want to be a part of the team or a part of the leadership team that helps put together some of the building infrastructure so that we don't have to do that. But I love the process, and I think that if you're ever going to keep children and becoming young children to teenagers to young adults in a system, this is it. Because Master Guides, and that's what we were talking about, gives you the ability to train youth in this system. One of the things that you know that we were part of is, you've been a part of, is the Christian Youthpreneur program, which I'm looking to add to the AYMT course process in the Master Guide curriculum and or the Adventist Youth Society's curriculum or the Adventist Youth Movement curriculum, so that youth will have the ability from the 5th to 12th grade to buy a house when they come out of high school, a car, and pay their college career off. And if you know anything about the new Trump account, you know that that is very doable. So I'm encouraged on that.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. This was a lot to take in, but look at they're beautiful. It is beautiful. We look forward to having you back, and thank you for rolling on the road with this special edition.